As the Russian-Ukrainian conflict enters day 12, heavy shelling is being reported from the city of Irpin, which is located in close proximity to the capital Kiev. The city, which lies only 26 kilometers away from the capital, has been witnessing heavy mortar and artillery shelling. The continuous Russian air raids has leveled parts of the city to the ground, destroying bridges and forcing citizens to flee in search of safety. People can be seen leaving their homes with their belongings in plastic bags. Residents reported that the city is running out of food and medical supplies as Russian assault in Irpin continues.
There is no possibility physically to do any supply, no bread, no milk, no eggs, no nothing, and all the chemistry is closed, and it's terrible. So today, bombing continuing, and I decided to escape because it's really dangerous.
So artillery shelling the entire city, the suburbs, the private houses, the apartments. We were in on the ground, but it was a chance to escape, so we just took our luggage and come here by car. So
a group of journalists also fled from Irpin after their house caught fire. Heavy damage in residential buildings and roads have been reported, while families can be seen fleeing with their belongings in plastic bags, and children climbing over rubble as they flee the unending air raids. This when the Kremlin continues to claim that it has no intentions of targeting civilians.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Go, go, go. Move. Shit. Take cover.
Мирное население.
As you can see, a mortar shelling that killed 3, including a child, was caught on camera. In the video, a civilian can be seen walking when suddenly a blast is heard. People can be seen running for cover. As the dust settles, a resident can be seen lying motionless on the streets while people scream for medics. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky vowed to punish atrocities committed. He mourned the loss of families who were killed in the shelling in Irpin and pledged to avenge the act of barbarity committed on Ukrainian soil. We are now being joined by our correspondent Anas Malik, who is in Kyiv at this moment. Thank you, Anas Malik, for joining us. What is the situation in the capital of Ukraine?
Well, Eric, the situation is that it resembles a ghost town, quite literally empty streets, haunting silence. You can see behind me, you won't be able to spot on people around, no cars around, just some shops that are open, barely they are, that is, and that's what the situation is like. No shops except for those which have grocery items. They're the only ones that are running. Cars like these would be seen just seldomly. More and more military vehicles are there. Some of the people are there out on the roads walking to get their livelihood or daily household items. But by and large, the capital of Ukraine resembles that of a ghost town. Eric?
Malik, we have been reporting that Russian troops are closing into the capital of Ukraine. Can you confirm that?
Well, yes, we have seen the reports. We've heard shelling being done as well in the outskirts of the city, and we've heard reports, or rather read reports in the local media that the troops were trying to close in on the capital, but the Ukrainian people have literally fortified the city. They've built up trenches. There are sandbags around the city. There is increased military deployment, increased police deployment as well, and residents are advised to only go out if necessary. victory. So that explains the gravity of the situation by and large, as to how grim the situation is, that residents are advised to go only when necessary. There are some cars, as I said, they are running, but by and large there's this quietness, this is dampness, this sadness in the air that can be felt, that calm before the storm, something like that perhaps, because that's what the residents feel as well. They're picking up arms, they're joining with their forces, they're volunteering. Some are disgruntled as well with this law that basically prohibits people from between 18 to 60 to leave the country, because they say that they don't want to fight, and that they don't believe in war as a solution. But by and large, there are mixed emotions over here. A charged up Ukrainian people, a charged up, relatively charged up crowd that you would encounter. Lots and lots of people at the railway station, more women and children, and emotional scenes at the railway station as well. I took the train from Lviv to Kiev, and the train was almost empty. It had just a couple of journalists, and the rest of the compartments of the train were filled with relief goods. So that explains that people are not coming into Kiev, but rather going out of Kiev towards relative safety, towards Lviv, towards the western side of the country, that is Lviv, and then some would be lucky enough to find refuge in elsewhere as well, in other European countries. Eric?
Well, Malik, probably you can tell us, on your way from Lviv to the capital of Kyiv, what did you experience?
Well, I set out in the night train that was supposed to be a non-stop train. It started off its journey about 2 hours late, and it did not run on its full momentum, because the train driver said that they don't want to cause a greater noise or want to attract unnecessary attention. So our arrival was delayed by another 3 hours. Again, the train was empty. It was dark. It was gloomy. We were not allowed to take off the window shutters in the night, fearing that the light could be seen, and then that could be used by what they say are saboteurs to attack. So explains then in the morning when the sunlight struck, and in the morning then we were allowed to take the window shutters off. The train did not almost stop at any of the stations, and as I said, it did not run at its optimum capacity, at its full speed. The reason it was delayed by about 5 hours, and the train was practically full with relief goods, milk packets, milk cartons, water cartons, tissue rolls, medicines, blankets, warm clothes, you name it. And then these camouflage nets that are being made for the military by the Ukrainian people. It was full of that. So it goes on to show that the relief goods that are coming in, the relief items that are being supplied in, and for whom? For the residents and for the Ukrainian army as well. Eric?
Malik, you did mention that Kyiv looks like a ghost town, but we have to keep on talking about this. The humanitarian situation in the country, in the whole of Ukraine. Probably you can tell our viewers and describe to our viewers how dire is this humanitarian situation in Ukraine and the influx of refugees to other countries neighboring Ukraine.
Well, the situation is bad and deteriorating hour by hour, not even day by day, literally hour by hour. There are more than 1.3 million refugees who've relocated in the past 12 days, and now there's a ban for 18 to 60 people from ranging from the age of 18 till the age of 60, unless they have small children. Then they'd be allowed to leave if you're a male. Otherwise, you'd have to stay back in the country, either volunteer or serve with the army. Now, people are disgruntled with that as well. There are some people, rather majority of them, you'd find they'd be very enthusiastic and charged about volunteering with the army, fighting for their country. But there'd be a small minority as well that would be disgruntled with this rule. They say that they don't want to fight, they don't believe in a war. That war is not a solution for anything. So that being said, more and more people are at spot more and more people at the railway station, both in Lviv, in the western city of Lviv,
right,
and here in the center in Kiev as well. At the railway station, those who want to go out of the city and not come in here. So explain. This goes on to show that more and more people are concerned about their life, about their safety, and the reason they would want to seek refuge elsewhere, leaving behind their comfort areas, their livelihood, in order to flee to safety, or what they believe is considerably safe.
The Russian military declared a ceasefire in the capital city of Kyiv in Ukraine and 3 other major cities on Monday to open humanitarian corridors. And this is according to media agencies in the country. The decision followed a request personally made by French President Emmanuel Macron. The corridors to allow safe passage to civilians trying to flee the war will open at 10 a.m. or 7 GMT. It will continue for 11 hours, and this is according to Russian news agencies. The Russian military again has declared a ceasefire in the capital of Kyiv in Ukraine and 3 other major cities on Monday to open humanitarian corridors. The decision followed a request personally made by French President Emmanuel Macron to President Vladimir Putin. The corridors will allow safe passage of civilians trying to flee the war, and it will open at 10:00 Moscow time or 7 GMT. It will continue for 11 hours. And our reporter is still in the capital of Kyiv, Anas Malik. He is giving us a detailed report on the situation on ground and what is happening in the capital of Ukraine. Remember, this is the 12th day of Russian invasion of Ukraine, and the mediation talks between Ukraine and Russia will begin in a short while from now. And the latest that we are getting at this moment is that the Russian military has declared a ceasefire in the capital city of Kyiv in Ukraine and 3 other major cities on Monday to open humanitarian corridors. The decision followed a request personally made by French President Emmanuel Macron during his call to President Vladimir Putin. The corridors to allow safe passage to civilians trying to flee the war will open at 10:00 time or 7 GMT. It will continue for 11 hours. We are also receiving reports that Russian forces are advancing gradually to the capital of Kyiv, and the outskirts of Kyiv is under continuous shelling, as you heard there from our correspondent Anas Malik. Chernihiv in the north, Mykolaiv in the south, and Kharkiv, the country's second largest city, is also being bombarded by the Russian military. The development comes as Russia and Ukraine are set to hold a 3rd round of negotiations on Monday or from a short time from now. Russia has waged a war against Ukraine on February 24th after weeks of military build-up in Ukraine. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.